2TC is an achievement on Bloons Tower Defense 6 where you need to complete an entire CHIMPS game with just 2 towers on the field, Super Brittle and Dank Champion. Using our ice tower to start off with, we're going to settle with a 0-1-0 just so that we can attack faster, and we're able to deploy our Super Monkey down in time before round 24. It's rare for me to say this, but in this case, we need to get Laser Blast as soon as possible alongside Ultra Vision so that we can pop those pesky camo white balloons. I believe it's before round 40 or just after round 40 in which we need it. Laser Blast simply because, well, then we can actually pop frozen balloons outside of the ice tower. This is primarily why you want enhanced freeze for the pinks on round 15. If they go around too quickly, then they'll just exit this little circle, and then we won't have a chance of popping balloons then. Regrow balloons aren't a problem really. But we're now going to deploy down our Super Monkey here, and as you can tell, we're not really doing anything against the the frozen balloons with our Super Monkey, but this is solely here so that we can actually pop white balloons. And no, you cannot really rely on the ice shards affecting other balloons in order for those ice shard fragments to pop white balloons. It's just not going to be a viable strategy. Let's go to Cold Snap so that we can pop the camo green on round 24 and also the leads for round 28. Believe it or not, this used to be called a Metal Freeze, where it would only actually pop lead balloons, but it's been reworked so that it can actually target and pop both lead balloons and also camo balloons. So this one upgrade settles you for round 59. Laser Blast is now online. It won't help us against the lead balloons, but it will help us against the frozen balloons on screen here. It just means that when they're in this little circle and they're frozen, the Super Monkey can actually now damage them. Do struggle against purple balloons with our Super Monkey here, but not to worry. Can our ice tower here solo round 33? And the answer is going to be yes. Well, we're gonna kind of need it actually. Knockback we're going to give for 3240, and then we're going to get Ultra Vision after that so that we can pop camo white balloons. Here we go, Ultra Vision is now active, so when we are going to face off with camo whites, this is the reason why we go 102 rather than trying to go for a Plasma Blast and then realizing, oh crap, I don't have any camo white popping potential. As soon as the lead balloons are popped. Yeah, here we go. The camo white's on round 37. I knew they were near round 40, but I didn't quite remember which side of round 40 that they were on. Plasma Blast is now active, which means aside purples, this can now pop anything, including frozen balloons, ice shards, and deep freeze. Round 40. This could be quite good when we get embrittlement because we're going to do extra damage with the Super Monkey against any kind of target that'll be in the small circle here. But are we going to get Dark Champion first or Super Brittle? The answer is Super Brittle, and that's solely because of the fact that we won't be able to do enough bonus damage with our Super Monkey before it actually gets to Dark Champion. Who's going to save us? Badman is. There are certain ice tower combos with another tower, which are only possible on both Resort and this map because you need to rely on a really small area in which the balloons can orbit around a lot. So the little square in Resort and the circle in the center of balance is literally perfect for an ice tower in order to fully utilize its really short range here. Right side is a little better than left side for the Super Monkey to initially deploy on because the first initial Moabs that spawn, so round 40, round 60, round 80, round 90, round 100, all new Moab class balloons always spawn on the right hand side, so we always get that initial damage done and dusted. We nearly have the money for Super Brittle. We skipped a few rounds ahead like we're going to do in other scenarios throughout this video and other videos, because all we're doing at the moment is just simply popping balloons until we're waiting for our next upgrade, and that just literally is the entire synopsis of all these videos sometimes until we have nothing left to buy and we can just observe a magnificent work in which 2 towers can put together in order to actually defeat a scenario. We've got Super Brittle, and Super Brittle in update 42 has been given a nice attack speed boost So the cooldown is reduced from 2.16 seconds to 1.8 seconds, which I think in a few scenarios could be vital between victory and defeat, as in like 2.16 is defeat, 1.8 seconds is victory. But nonetheless, also Deep Freeze works really well with Super Brittle because it increases its pierce as well. And pierce sometimes is the defeating factor, not damage. And here goes the remaining of round 63. And it's so cold that even white balloons and zebra balloons cannot escape the wrath of Super Brittle itself. Or it's the fact that it's the ice shard factor that is always going to be damaging the white and zebra balloons. People love my TED Talk stories. I've got one for you today, and it's well, it's not what we call morbid, but it's something that is not particularly positive that happened to me recently at work, and it's just something to do with our delivery time changes when it comes to our deliveries in which we get in our store. We're quite a small store, but the delivery itself is still relatively big, especially considering that there's only 2 people working on the shop floor, and sometimes the manager also comes and helps out here and there, which is thoroughly appreciated. But when you got customers at school rush hour alongside delivery that just interferes with everything going on, it's like, I don't want anything else other than what I have so far. I'm dealing with school rush hour. Our store is literally right next to a primary school, so it really doesn't help when it comes to people traffic, trying to move cages from the lorry inside the store, and people just standing there as like, what do you expect me to do? Move out of the way? And I'm like, I don't want to say to you, please move out of the way, but can you not see that I'm trying to push this cage past you so that I can then put it in the designated spot in the store? It's like, sometimes I just get so overwhelmed with work, but it's like I have to sacrifice one of my duties at work in order to actually do other aspects of a job, such as serving customers. We have only 2 tills at the store, and at rush hour, we really need to use both tills at any given point in time. But then we have frozen stuff and cold stuff that needs to go into the freezer or the fridges. Otherwise, if they don't go in there, then obviously their expiration date will be shortened, and possibly even from there we'll have to take the items back to our supplier because of the fact that they were quote-unquote damaged, which is not cool because then we lose out on money and stuff like that. But it's sometimes work and management doesn't realize how much we have on our plates at times because of the fact that they're never really there to experience what it's like on the shop floor. And just having that little bit of empathy sometimes, even though it doesn't make the workload any less, can go a long way between the relationship between a manager and their employees. And I feel like a lot of businesses have that lack of connection between employer and employee because of a sheer fact that the employer has no real connection with their employees. We're just there to do our job, and that's it, regardless if our health is important or if it's not important. And it's just the fact that sometimes you need to suffer in silence in order to just get on with your job. And I feel like some managers are just like that. I'm just very grateful that my managers are not like that. Like, they have an ounce of concern asking if you're alright or stuff like that. But I just know that there's management out there that has absolutely zero human emotions for their employees and just want work to be done, regardless of how stressful that it is. They just think, well, there's your jobs, get on with it. I don't care about the fact that you need to do 3 different jobs at the same time in 3 different places around the store. You have to do all of those, otherwise you're letting the business down. Also, I need to let this dark night be on first rather than strong. So yeah, that's my little story there. So it's not always going to be a fact, but sometimes I just need to let out a story here and there just so that I feel like I'm not bottling up my emotions sometimes, which can sometimes be a thing with people, is that people do suffer in silence, and management sometimes expects you to suffer in silence because, well, suffering doesn't make the money come to the business and all that jazz. So ZMG is here. What are we going to do with it? Well, like with everything else, we're going to pop it. And is this dark night going to last us until we can get the 60k needed? I hope so, because Super Brittle is really good at stalling the Super Ceramics so that they don't travel to the exit of the map here. And on one Wednesday when the delivery came, my manager who usually helps out had to go out back somewhere, so I was like, there's only me and one other person on the shop floor, and we had like tens or if not about 100 customers in the store. And it's like, we can't do everything but just between the two of us. Like, we need more people power in the store. But obviously asking that is just going to warrant trouble because of the fact, well, businesses try and keep costs down as much as possible in order to actually operate the business, which on a financial standpoint you can understand. But when it comes to be able to actually, generate the revenue for the store, sometimes I feel like employing more people can actually bring in even more profit because there is more work being done, because there are more hands to be able to do the work itself. Also, we have Dark Champion installed now. Second ZMG of the round. Once you become Super Brittle, you are really weak from attacks. There goes round 87. Not too sure, but at the moment I'm developing a bit of a sore throat. Also, another story which is not so positive is that I did have my tinnitus a bit sorted out recently, but now even more recently it's sort of just sprung back. And I've also discovered that having a white noise machine emitting white noise actually makes my tinnitus worse when I'm trying to sleep. It feels like it's just ringing my ears even more. And when people say, oh, you should have something put in your ears so that the noise stops, people don't understand that tinnitus is literally inside your ears. It's nothing to do with an outside noise. It's literally on the inside. So unless you can block out that inside, but then that means you'll be blocking every other sound in which might be desirable or not desirable, then there's not really a cure for tinnitus, but there's only little bits of treatment here and there. I did contact my doctor, but I never got a call back from them, and anytime I did try and ring them back, they're always otherwise busy with other people who are trying to contact them as well. So, not really good. And if you do try and contact them back again, then obviously they'll just be met with even more people there as well. So sometimes it just feels like you have to rely on YouTube videos or just online help in order to try and help with your current scenarios. Also, why am I talking about all this? Because at the moment, this seems to be a very smooth scenario so far. We have not yet failed around. I feel like if we didn't get enhanced freeze at the very start of a game when we were able to afford it, then round side 15 would be a big issue here. This round 94, I think it's the third biggest round in the game here. Then round 96 is second biggest, round 98 is biggest. Did you know that in a round 140 scenario, that round 131 has the most amount of RBE? It consists of, I think it's like 18 fortified ZOMGs or somewhere close to that number. And the amount of health that they have at that time is huge. So there goes round 95. Really easy. DTs enter the circle, they become super embrittled, which means that the already huge damage that a Dark Champion does is even bigger. The only downside of going with Plasma Blast over the middle path is that you do suffer from pierce loss, whereas if you go with the middle path you do have that pierce increase, but then you wouldn't have an innate early ability to be able to damage lead balloons and frozen balloons because your sharp projectiles can't pop a frozen object. Have you ever heard of something called an ice axe? But then again, that would probably just be the shatter type attack, just like buckshot and other things that can pop frozen balloons while it still looks like a sharp attack. Sharp attack, shark attack. Sharks can bite through ice. There you go, there's your trivia for the day. They're probably good actually, knowing how huge their jaws are, sharks, orcas. I'm not too sure now. All I know is that we are within this scenario together. Round 98. Looks like we're being swarmed here, but honestly, we are getting the job done here. Super... Whoa! We were kind of pierce capped there in a way. Are you sure you can do this, Dark Champion? I'm sure you can do it. What's up with you? Maybe target the ZMGs? I'm not too sure now, actually. Maybe retain some of the super ceramics in the middle, but then again, we are going to get pierce capped here. When I did a test game, round 98 was not an issue whatsoever, but we are leaking some. Can we do it? Please? Yeah, I don't know why that first attempt was so stupid. Round 99 shouldn't be an issue. Round 100, I imagine we're going to need to dark shift our Dark Champion so that when it comes over here, we're going to need to cover this exit over here. So once that goes over into the center, as in the bad, we'll teleport you over here. And then possibly we'll need to teleport to the left side as well. Let's see, you're going to go down, please. And there goes the DETs. Now then, the rest of it. EFBs. Oh, we didn't even need to teleport it. In a test game I did, I needed to teleport the Dark Champion over to this side because the ceramics left from the Moabs were leaking out this way. But I suppose sometimes the game is down to RNG. So aside from one hiccup on round 98, this was probably one of the easier 2TCs, probably even easier on Resort because of the fact that you have more track length. But there you go, folks, that is the Super Brittle and Dark Champion 2TC. And also my ramblings about retail work and all that jazz when there's just simply too many things to do at one given point in time. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you thought down in the comment sections below of this video. Like, comment, subscribe if you have not done so already for the channel to be notified of future videos. And I'm going to rest my throat now. Please be sure to use my creator support code whenever you are shopping on the Balloons Tower Defense store, so that then you are not missing out on the goodies of supporting your favorite content creator, which is obviously me. Just kidding, by the way. If you're using a creator support code, regardless of who it is, then that is great. If you're not, then that's okay as well, actually. Thank you so much for watching and take care of yourselves, everybody.